Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now? Immediately? Absolutely not. Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Here we go.
Sheryl Swoopes. No, Caitlin Clark. Respectfully, Sheryl Swoopes, you have any idea how that makes you look? You have any idea how that serves to stain any kind of critique of Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark fans go off on Sheryl Swoopes for what she has said about their idol. Caitlin Clark has some ride-or-die fans. Ever since she was in college, she has garnered the attention of the masses. And can you really blame them? Caitlin has one of the flashiest and most electrifying games in women's basketball. She is known for dissecting team defenses thanks to her incredible vision, which results in easy buckets for her teammates play after play. And when she isn't making highlight-worthy plays, she is stepping back and drilling logo threes. But more than her incredible game, it's Caitlin's demeanor that has won over so many fans worldwide. She is essentially the definition of humble. We never see her talking trash to opponents, throwing cheap shots, or going at WNBA vets. However, this hasn't stopped from other players from taking shots at her, the most notorious being Sheryl Swoopes. And by the end of this video, you will see why fans have been clowning on Sheryl Swoopes after the recent Angel Reese podcast reveal. Angel and Caitlin have had a heated rivalry. The rivalry between the two really started in college. Angel helped LSU win its first national championship, posting 15 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in a 102-85 victory over Iowa in the title game. She won the tournament's Most Outstanding Player award and set the NCAA single-season record with 34 double-doubles. In the closing minutes of the game, Reese followed Caitlin Clark around the court and made a "you can't see me" gesture by waving her hand in front of her face, a taunt popularized by professional wrestler John Cena, before pointing to her ring finger in reference to a championship ring. Her actions came under scrutiny, with some journalists and analysts criticizing her for poor sportsmanship. But it seems like Angel and Caitlin don't really have any animosity between one another. It's just competition. But the fans have made things difficult.
Playing each other since high school, and knowing that there's never been beef. We've talked trash to each other in AAU. That it's been that. So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are they ride for her. And I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful.
However, there does seem to be some animosity between Caitlin and Sheryl Swoopes, and it's a one-way street, as it is always Swoopes who is taking shots at Caitlin. She even believed that Angel would have a better rookie season than Caitlin.
You're trying to come take my job. Nah, it's not gonna be that easy. So will Caitlin Clark be a good pro? Absolutely. Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now? Immediately? Absolutely not. Not gonna happen.
Okay. Now, this was a ridiculous take at the time because Caitlin was regularly making history in college. And this take, well, it's aged like milk. Typically, rookies take a couple of years to figure things out. This includes Olympians like Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young, and Sabrina Ionescu, all of whom took 3 or 4 seasons to get to all-star level production after being #1 picks. Even prolific college scorers like Kelsey Plum and Kelsey Mitchell, who were the top 2 scorers in NCAA women's basketball history before Clark, did not burst onto the scene as bucket getters in the WNBA. Plum and Mitchell averaged 8.5 and 12.7 points in their rookie seasons, each shooting 34.6% from the field as they acclimated to the higher level of play. Meanwhile, Caitlin is averaging 18 and 8 with nearly 6 boards a game. Seems like her game translated to the WNBA just fine. Not to mention that she made the All-Star team and has resurrected the Indiana franchise. But hey, we can all have some bad takes. You can't hit on everything. Naturally, Angel jumped on the fact that she had a WNBA legend backing her and invited her on her new podcast. But the response from fans, well, it was quite telling. One comment read, "When Caitlin Clark beat your NCAA tourney record, do you realize that she also did it while taking 22 shots less than you?" That fan was referring to the fact that Swoopes had gone on record and lied about Caitlin's accomplishments in order to diminish them. She claimed that Clark got her NCAA point records via shots in volume rather than quality, and that she needed more time to beat Kelsey Plum's score before she later apologized for uninformed thoughts. And then on top of that, she simply lied several times when she was trying to downplay Caitlin's achievements in college.
So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
What Swoopes is talking about here is the women's all-time scoring record that Caitlin set, and in doing so, broke Kelsey Plum's previous record. However, Caitlin actually broke the record in less than 4 years. So Swoopes again was hating for no reason. But it didn't end just there.
Like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old. Like, you should be killing them. Because you've been doing it a lot longer than they have.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but I know she can come back another year.
Here she is blatantly lying by saying that Caitlin was 25 years old when she was dominating in college, when in fact, Caitlin is only 22 years old. So at least if you're going to hate, you should do it in a clever manner so that it's not so obvious. Stephen A. Smith has also called her out for her extremely poor take.
Clark and the Fever currently lead the WNBA in average game attendance and per game TV viewership. But despite the attendance and viewership records, there seems to be some haterade in the league in regards to Clark starting with WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes herself.
But it doesn't stop there. Swoopes continued to misinform the public about Caitlin in order to push her agenda.
Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
Again, blatant lies. At the time, Caitlin was taking 22.3 shots a game, which was actually lower than the number of shots that Swoopes took in her college tenure. Good thing the fans have kept the receipts. Some were even wondering how many times Swoopes would try to discredit Caitlin on the podcast or spin the narrative that Angel should win the Rookie of the Year, despite Caitlin having one of the greatest rookie seasons in WNBA history. It is no hyperbole to say that Caitlin Clark is putting together one of the most legendary rookie seasons of all time. It seems as if you were a Caitlin Clark believer, you are on the right side of history. Not only has she lived up to crazy high expectations, but she has surpassed them in many ways. It is safe to say that she entered the WNBA season with higher expectations than any rookie. Right away, people expected her to not only dominate, but carry the league on her shoulders. Most rookies come into the league and ride the bench for a while and work on their skill set. A few special cases might start right away. And then there are the ultra special cases who not only start, but make a big impact. Caitlin went beyond this. She was tasked with leading the Indiana Fever back to relevance after a 7-year playoff drought, along with carrying the WNBA to new heights. What other rookies had to take on such responsibility? Yet she still has haters. Swoopes can't even deny it at this point because people have begun to pull out the receipts. Jealousy and envy are never a good look, especially when you yourself were once great. You had your time in the limelight, but now it's someone else's turn. That fact that Swoopes can't bring herself to give Caitlin any credit was evident in a recent broadcast. While Clark obviously was not part of the game that Swoopes was calling, she made a brief cameo during a stoppage in play as play-by-play man Ron Thulin noted the WNBA's Players of the Week. As Thulin called attention to Clark's impressive week in which she averaged 25 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds, Swoopes remained noticeably silent, not saying a word until play resumed. While Thulin was the one who started the read, there were multiple dead spots in the brief segment that one would have expected the analyst's voice to fill. Typically, the play-by-play person tells you what is happening and the analyst provides his or her insight, which did not happen in this instance.
Got to go to the players of the week. Both of them had outstanding weeks, and they're the next two opponents for the weeks. Caitlin Clark will be here on Sunday for the week, averaged 25, and Avisa Collier averaged over 25. And, of course, the Lynx here Friday at 6:30 on ION. And then the Fever come here at 3 o'clock before a sellout crowd. Tough stretch for Dallas.
No doubt something similar will happen when she appears on Angel's podcast. She will conveniently forget that Caitlin Clark exists and will try to convince everyone that it'll be a robbery if Angel doesn't win the Rookie of the Year. She already tried something similar earlier in the season when she gave credit for Indiana's win streak to everyone but Caitlin.
I do want to say this because we talked about the Olympic break, who it could help, who it could hurt. Mm-hmm. And I've seen the complete opposite with two teams, the 7th and 8th place team. I think the Olympic break really helped Indiana.
Absolutely.
Swoopes showed how petty she can really be when she decided to credit players like Lexi Hull, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston, who have also been great since the team's return from the Olympic break, but there was never a mention of the Fever star point guard. She believes that Indiana will keep moving up in the standings if they're able to keep playing at this level, especially with Hull, Mitchell, and Boston's success.
Shout out to Lexi Hull. I'm a big Lexi Hull fan. Watch her in AU. Lexi Hull shot the leather off the ball in their game against Seattle and just couldn't miss. Kelsey Mitchell is just stroking. She is just shooting the basketball. Aaliyah Boston, almost a triple-double.
Now, conveniently, she forgot about Caitlin's historic record. Heck, Swoopes gave Angel Reese a shout-out instead for losing a game.
Before I get into that, I am going to say this. Shout out to Angel Reese, even in a loss. Listen, 20 boards.
It's crazy.
20 boards. Say what you want to say about how she's getting all these rebounds. You can get 20 rebounds. I don't care if you're rebounding your own.
But Caitlin seems to be a silent assassin. She takes note of all the hate and uses it as fuel to elevate her game. So Swoopes will be doing nothing but providing her with more ammo as she gets ready for her first playoff experience.